you notice something different? That sounds so condescending. Did you notice something different? I'm in a new office. Basically, all we did is we switched the bedrooms in my place that are what I use as an office and where my kids are, and so now it's a little bit different. Is this distracting? Let me know what you think. I think that the kind of additional light, anyway, you guys don't care, you're not here to. I want to talk to you today about style and self-respect and how those two work so strongly in conjunction with each other. Now, this whole topic came up for me this week because I was doing some personal study, and one of the things that I was reading was related to the importance of self-respect. Now, in this stuff that I was reading, I found some great quotes from a few different people that I want to share with you guys, and then talk about how style actually is applicable with this whole topic of self-respect, because I believe, and I'm sure that you probably believe, that self-respect and self-esteem are a little bit different. So maybe that's what we should do first. Let's talk about the difference between self-respect and self-esteem. If you talk about esteem, that is tied up with the word of estimation. And when you think of estimation, what do you think of? You think of not necessarily really knowing, like you're estimating your own worth. Whether or not that's actually scientifically true or not, I'm going with that because I think that when we talk about self-esteem, especially those of us who are millennials or even younger who grew up amongst the self-esteem movement, this whole idea of self-esteem is that you have value just based on your existence, and that your value cannot increase or decrease based on your actions, but you're wonderful and special just because you are. And obviously, I think that that's garbage. The world proves that that's garbage, and that's why I much more strongly subscribe to the idea of self-respect, because self-respect comes from doing hard things or building things or creating, or overall self-respect comes from accomplishing. And one of the strongest things about self-respect is that you can know who you are and what your worth is. You can have self-respect and know right on this like totem pole of value, you know, am I a 1 or a 10? You can know. And self-respect is very different, not only from this false idea of self-esteem where everybody's a 10 because everybody's a 10, but it's also different because you can know that you were at an 8 or a 10 or a 4 without getting haughty or arrogant or conceited, because you've earned that right. Whereas if it's self-esteem and it's a falsely conflated sense of being a 10 when you haven't earned that because you are a 4, that's where arrogance, that's where pride, that's where conceit, that's where haughtiness comes in, and obviously those are problems. Okay, so let me give you a couple of quotes, and then we can talk about how style ties into all of this. First one is from Johann von Schiller, and he says, "Every man stamps his value on himself. The price we challenge for ourselves is given us by others. Man is made great or little by his own will." So essentially, people will esteem you as well as you esteem yourself. If you treat yourself and present yourself and esteem yourself to be a little man, then why would anybody else treat you or esteem you differently? Whereas if you carry yourself and treat yourself and have self-respect for yourself, then other people will see that and they will treat you the same way. Here's another one. This is from Samuel Smiles, and he says, "Self-respect is the noblest garment with which a man can clothe himself, the most elevating feeling with which the mind can be inspired." And I love that quote because obviously he talks a little bit about clothing, but it's also there's a nobleness. And I think nobility is something that in the modern 21st century is something that we shy away from because we see it as blasé or it's old-fashioned or anything else. It doesn't fit within this postmodern view of society, and we think, well, I don't want to aspire to nobility. Like that's dumb. I just want to be cool, or I just want to fit in, or I just want to get laid. And nobility is not something that a lot of us are comfortable actually admitting to aspiring to, but there's a drive in there for nobility, I think, in all of us. And the more you can embrace that, unapologetically embrace that, admit it to yourself and admit it to other people, it's like, no, I do not just want to go along to get along. I do not just want to get by. I do not just want to pursue hedonistic pleasure. I want nobility in my life, and I want to be a noble person. It's a great way for you to build up even more of your self-respect, because the first thing that you have to do to establish your self-respect is even believe that you have the potential of being more than what you currently are. Let's talk about how this works with style. Okay? Style, for the most part, as you get into it, you think about it in this context of how does it affect the way that other people interact with me. We think about, what can I wear to get laid? Or what can I wear to nail that job interview? Or what can I wear so that my wife will love me again? But it's not just that. Style is not just about what we wear so that other people have a different image and a different perception of us. Style is such a good way to reinforce or to counteract our own self-respect. Now, I want you to think about this as you start dressing better wherever it is you are on your journey. Whether this is the first time you've been exposed to anything related to style and you're feeling weird about, like, why should I dress better? Or you've been in the game for a long time. Tomorrow morning, as you're spending time getting ready, you're cleaning yourself off in the shower, you're making sure that your hair is at least combed, you're putting on deodorant, you're brushing your teeth, you're going through these things. Tell me that you don't feel more self-respect because you are prepared throughout your day. And then if you doubt that, take a challenge for the next day and don't do any of that. Don't shower, don't do your hair, don't brush your teeth, don't put on deodorant. Whether you're going out to be in public with other people or you're just being at home yourself, don't get ready. And tell me that you do not feel less self-respect because you have not gone through this routine, this ritual even, of getting yourself ready, of preparing yourself, of building up your own internal nobility, for lack of a better word, and being able to tackle your day. Now, we know that the external affects the internal, and we know, we teach this to our children, that if you want to be in a good mood and you're not, what do? You smile, right? That's easy. If you're in a bad mood, you want to be in a better mood, all you have to do is smile, because that mere act of flexing certain muscles in your face can change and elevate your mood because of that back and forth association. All too often, it's easy to think, I am happy, therefore I smile, when a lot of times the reality can be, I smile, therefore I am happy. That kind of stuff is a choice. And so, same thing. You can look at it as, I respect myself, therefore I put in efforts to how I present myself, both to myself and to other people. But a lot of the time, it can be, I put in effort in how I dress and how I groom, therefore I have self-respect. Now, it's a force magnifier, because if you think about it this way, if you don't have any self-respect and then you immediately start dressing better, you start doing all these things that will make you act like you have self-respect, then one of two different things is going to happen. Either you are going to start developing more self-respect because you will see yourself doing things that are worthy of self-respect, or you're going to feel this crazy amount of dissonance and eventually you're going to stop doing those things because you're going to go back. But look at it this way. If you were already a man who has self-respect, but you want to make it easier to maintain that, you want to build upon it even further, then by going through these little deliberate routines of things that you do to communicate to yourself every day that you have self-respect, whether that's making your bed in the morning, or meditating or praying for a few minutes a day, or it's getting dressed in a way that you're just not in your sloppy pajamas. These are little things that we do, again, not only because of what they say to the rest of the world, but because of what they say to us. If you want a better day, if you want to be a better man, then start with the discipline that leads to self-respect by doing little things like making your bed in the morning and dressing better. That doesn't mean you have to wear a suit. It doesn't mean you have to have $1,000 shoes. It doesn't mean that you have to be copying what you are seeing as awesome fashion from Instagram or GQ or anywhere else, but it does mean that you have to put some deliberate thought and intention into the way that you are presenting yourself and the way that you are adorning your body. Because by doing that, you are reinforcing the measure of self-respect that you already have for yourself. And what's even better, you get the added bonus of reinforcing the respect or lack thereof that other people have for you. Because I guarantee you that somebody who dresses intentionally, whether we like them or not, whether we look at that guy and we project and we think that dude's a douchebag, we know that there's a measure of self-respect there. We may conflate it with vanity, but that's usually a defense mechanism on our part. That's usually us having a sour grapes attitude of, I don't want a six-pack like that because that guy's a douche, or I don't want to dress like that because he's an arrogant prick. And most of the time, the audience, the people who are seeing that and perceiving that, are projecting their own lack of self-respect onto you, whereas other self-respecting men will see you and will see the effort and the energy that you put into little things about your life that reinforce your discipline, that magnify your self-respect, and then they will see you as a like-minded man and will want to associate even more with you. So, win-win. It does not come at the expense of, I increase my own self-respect at the expense of other people who are worthwhile people that I want to associate with wanting anything to do with me, nor is it that other people are going to think highly of me and then I'm able to improve my networking and other aspects of my life, but I feel like an idiot and a jerk myself. These two can work in tandem. Okay, so let's bring this all back around and wrap it up for you. This is why the opposite ideas of you always have to wear a suit or you shouldn't care what you wear and you shouldn't care what anybody thinks are both really stupid, because neither one of them takes into account the idea that you can impact not only yourself, but other people, and not only other people, but yourself, whatever your primary motivation is. You can impact both of them positively or negatively by simple daily acts of self-respect. And one of those acts of self-respect is making sure that you dress intentionally. All right, guys, I want to hear what you have to say about this. I want to know if this is something that you feel like you've already caught on to and it's like, duh, Tanner, this is easy stuff. Why are we talking about this? Or if you feel like this opens up some new possibilities to you and helps you think about your style in a different way. Now, if you agree with me that you shouldn't always be wearing a suit, but you don't know what you should be wearing, go take this quiz right here. It'll help you get started on that. If you want to watch more videos like this, I've got them for you right down here. And if you are not subscribed, make sure that you do that. Click this button right here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And I will talk to you on the next one.